Tennessee woman got the shock of her life on Christmas morning last year. Wasn't a new car in the driveway or fancy jewelry underneath the tree. No, instead she claims she found hidden cameras in her teenage daughter's bedroom and bathroom, seemingly recording her most private moments. And now, months later, a registered nurse is under arrest for this alleged gross violation. And we're getting answers directly from the sheriff himself about why this arrest took so long and what we can expect next in the case against Cameron Sanders. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, before we jump into this, I got to tell you about this sponsor, this partner of ours, because they have this app that I think you're going to love. It is called Upside. Upside gets you cash back, extra cash back on everyday purchases like gas, groceries, takeout. So here's what you do. You download Upside for free. You claim an offer at one of their 100,000 plus locations. You pay like normal with your card. You verify the purchase, and just like that, money back. So say I need to get gas or I want takeout one night, I'll search for Upside offers first, and after I spend, money appears in my app that I can transfer right into my bank account. And Upside's frequent users, they earn an average of $254 back a year. So to start getting your cash back, click the link in the description or scan the QR code. Make sure to use promo code SIDEBAR because you'll get an extra 25 cents bonus on every gallon on your first tank of gas. 33-year-old Cameron Sanders is a nurse in Tennessee. By all accounts, very good at his job. Back in 2020, while working at Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis, he was honored with a Daisy Award, which, according to its website, recognizes extraordinary nurses. According to his Facebook page, Sanders listed his employer as Jackson-Madison County General Hospital in Jackson. It's unclear whether this is his most recent nursing job, but here's the deal. Instead of receiving accolades right now, he is in the headlines for a very different reason. He has been arrested, accused of secretly recording the teen daughter of the woman he was living with. And investigators claim they found thousands and thousands of child sexual abuse images on his phone. So we requested the affidavit that was filed against Sanders in Tipton County Court to get more details about the case. And it reveals that investigation began over Christmas last year when the victim's mother contacted the Tipton County Sheriff's Office because she reported finding Wi-Fi live streaming video outlets in her 15-year-old daughter's bedroom and bathroom. She apparently told deputies that she removed the devices when she realized they had cameras, but said the SD slots didn't have SD cards in them. And according to the affidavit, neither Sanders nor the teen was home at the time. Deputies reportedly spent hours trying to contact him before finally finding him at his father's house. They took his cell phone into evidence, and what they allegedly found on that device, horrific. A member of Tennessee's Office of Safety and Homeland Security performed a digital extraction, and the affidavit says the phone contained more than 500 gigs of raw data, including photos and videos. Reportedly found on that device were more than 116,000 nude images and more than 4,000 nude videos. And of those, almost 10,000 images and videos were suspected CSAM, child sexual abuse material. The sheer scale of that, if you take these allegations as true, mind-boggling. Raises a lot of questions that I'm going to get into about how long does this material go back? How was he able to allegedly accumulate it? Is it just of the 15-year-old? Other people? Are they being informed? I have a lot of questions regarding these allegations. Now, detectives, they also asked for the assistance of the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. And according to the affidavit, a special agent's preliminary findings uncovered 10 videos of the 15-year-old victim in the shower, as well as more than 2,000 images and videos of what the affidavit refers to as, quote, unlawful photography. As part of the investigation, agents spoke with this alleged victim. And I will tell you, that is where things take another turn. You go to the affidavit, it reads, quote, during a forensic interview on Tuesday, March 26, 2026, the victim confirmed the presence of the hidden cameras in her bedroom and bathroom and Cameron Sanders' residence. Additionally, she disclosed when she was approximately 13 to 14 years old, Cameron gave her his iPad to use, but it had to stay at his house. She stated they were in the process of setting up her Apple ID on the iPad when he left the room and laid it locked but face up, next to her on the couch. Cameron had given her his passcode, so she opened the tablet up and observed a fully nude photograph of Cameron. She stated she immediately locked the iPad and laid it down. Quote, based on witness statements, physical evidence, and observations at scene, Cameron Scott Sanders is charged with 1 count each of aggravated unlawful photographing of a minor, 1 count each of unlawful photography, and 1 count each of solicitation of a minor by electronic means. So deputies, they arrested Sanders on a felony warrant on May 31st. All these months later, they served a search warrant on his home. According to a press release from the sheriff's office and Tipton County court records, Sanders has also been charged with possession of a Schedule II narcotic, specifically morphine and hydromorphone, which is an opioid used to treat pain, possession of Schedule IV drugs, specifically Xanax and lorazepam, and unlawful possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. According to the sheriff's office, they found 8 guns stored alongside these drugs, and the sheriff says the nurse is being held on a $250,000 bond. In a post on his Facebook page, the sheriff wrote, who we're going to bring on in a minute, I don't even know where to start. The allegations in this case are deeply disturbing and strike at the heart of our responsibility to protect our children and youth. The exploitation of children in any form is reprehensible. The fact that Sanders works in a profession entrusted with caring for others makes these allegations even more troubling. Let this serve as a reminder that those who prey upon or exploit our children have no place in our communities. We will use every resource available to protect our children and hold offenders accountable. Okay, now I want to hear directly from the man himself. Joining me is Sheriff Shannon Beasley to talk about this very concerning, very disturbing case. Good to see you, sir. First of all, let's just start here. How are this mother and daughter doing at this point?
Obviously been victimized by this whole thing, but they are actually doing pretty well, very supportive, and they are excited. When I say excited, about the prosecution. They see that this thing is moving forward and the evidence that we have recovered thus far. And so outside the victimization of what they've gone through, they've been great supporters, and we have been working well with them.
Was it a complete shock? I mean, if you take these allegations as true and what he's accused of, was this a complete shock to them? Did they have any sign of anything like this?
No, had no indication anything until the mother suspected that some things that were delivered to the home that looked like electrical outlets, and they actually ended up being cameras that our suspect had installed into the 15-year-old girl's bathroom and bedroom.
Any indication how he was able to allegedly do this, set all this up without being detected sooner?
Yeah, I don't think it would take much just to change the outlet cover or whatever. It take very little bit of time. These type cameras are Wi-Fi capable, so there's nothing more than getting them hooked up and putting them on the Wi-Fi there at the house.
Has Sanders said anything since he's been apprehended?
No, he has not.
So he lawyered up. I mean, is that what happened?
He did. As soon as we started trying to do the interview and read him his Miranda warnings, he immediately asked for an attorney.
Human behavior. Did he seem shocked when he was arrested, or did he not seem that surprised and kind of defiant?
Not really. He did not seem shocked. And I think that's because, this all started on Christmas morning of last year. And the deputies who originally answered the call were able to secure his cell phone from him then. So I think he probably knew what was on that cell phone. He knew what was on the cell phone. And he knew that we probably were going to recover that. So I don't think he was completely shocked that he was being arrested, to be honest with you.
Well, I wanted you to clear up something for our viewers or
Sure.
listeners who might have a lot of questions, because they say, wait a minute, the amount of time between the teen's mother reporting the cameras and when Sanders was arrested, can you explain why the delay? Can you explain what was going on behind the scenes?
Sure. So as I said, Christmas morning of last year, and this is just now unfolding, but what the reason for there's a few things there. Number one, we had to get a search warrant to get into his phone. Once that search warrant was executed, it was done so with the help of Homeland Security. And when we started seeing the number, it wasn't just the 15-year-old. There were well over 100,000 images and videos that were recovered just from this one device. So, we only have one chance to get it right. So we don't want to rush into anything. At this point, we had not had, and obviously the mother and the 15-year-old victim had moved out of the home. So there was no urgency that they were in any further danger at that point. That she never called and complained that he was stalking or trying to run her down or anything like that. So there wasn't an urgency that he was being violent about that or trying to, like I say, stalk her or do anything to her. So when we look at the number of images, it actually took our Homeland Security and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation helped us to extract all those videos and photographs. And when you're looking at over, like I say, over 100,000 images and videos, it takes a lot of time to download that information, go through, see what type of cases or what type of charges need to be filed, how old victims are. And we've still got, even since the press release went out, we've got several people who have come forward, other women who have come forward wanting to know if they have been victimized as well.
I was going to ask you that. So let's just take a step back. You're saying through this investigation, you found CSAM of other children. And if that's the case, who are these people? Are these people that Sanders knew? Are they strangers? Can you give us any indication, if I'm correct in understanding what your investigators found?
Yes, sir. So there are different files of different things. We found there have been videos that have been linked to the dark web that he had been searching and downloading videos from the dark web of suspected children. Obviously, some of those, and even in the federal system, those videos have to be verified that is 100% someone under the 18 years of age. Again, those sometimes take time as well to verify the age of those people that's in the video. And then again, there are some videos that are very obvious that they're well under 18 years old. So I think when we look here, we have what appears to be adult victims that are of unsuspecting unlawful photography, not knowing that they were being photographed and or videoed in public places, workplace, things of that nature.
Can you tell us if the feds are involved? Not just in the, you mentioned Homeland Security being involved in the investigation, but are we talking potential federal charges for Sanders?
Absolutely. Especially right now, what we know, and listen, after the search warrant, we recovered 4 or 5 more electronic devices that we are now preparing search warrants to go through those devices as well. So we may uncover even more evidence here. Obviously, it's unknown yet, but yes, we've briefed with the feds. They are very interested, especially of the 15-year-old that was, because actually he was producing at that point when he was recording that video of the 15-year-old being nude. You know, he's producing child porn at that point. So that definitely falls within the realm of the federal system, and they're very, very interested in that.
Was he sharing it? Do you know if he was sharing it with anybody?
You know, we're still waiting on Homeland Security and TBI to help us with that information. So I don't know that we have that answer 100% just yet.
Do you know if Sanders was still working as a nurse during the course of this investigation?
He was.
Is that concerning? I mean, is he accused of any illegal activity in connection with his work at the hospital with patients, anything like that?
You know, I think some of the people who have called in thus far since the press release, I think a few of those are probably coworkers that he worked with, wanting to know. Again, they're unsuspecting, but they're wanting to know. So we're trying to have to go through many thousands of pictures to try to identify if they were possibly a victim. Obviously, we're using TBI and Homeland Security to help us do that with facial recognition and whatnot. So, this case is going to unfold for quite a while. But as far as the workplace, I don't know exactly how many images or what type of images. I do know I have not obviously personally seen any of those. I understand there are some images from the workplace. You know, the one thing about our medical field is it's like anybody else. There's one bad apple can give everybody a black eye, right? But we support our medical field, our nurses, and this should not give the whole profession a black eye.
Right.
Yes, it does not look good. I understand that, but it doesn't matter whether it's law enforcement, the clergy, banking, media. It can be, every profession has a very small fraction of someone that will give that black eye to that profession, but it's not fair to say that the whole profession is like that.
100%, 100%. I will tell you, his employer is going to face some tough questions about the hiring practices here, but that's a separate point. Let me ask you this. Any indication you can tell us what he allegedly had on his device or devices how old it was. Is it from the past 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? It does become a question, I think, and an interesting question. If the allegations are true, how long he's been collecting this material or producing this material?
I think I have not personally heard the dates of how far back that goes. But I think with the amount of digital data that we have, this likely goes back for some time. I would venture to say at least a year. We do know that the hidden cameras inside the house were purchased and installed, I believe, in November of last year, and it took the mother about a month before she found those hidden cameras.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he's just charged one count each of the sex crimes charges, right? I mean, why just that? Are you expecting additional state charges?
We do. We do expect additional charges to be filed. This is the first step of the judicial process for him. This was something we had enough of the images. We felt good enough that, especially off of this one device that we had at the time, we extracted all that information. Let me say this, with the number, and especially in the federal system and on the state level, it can determine the number of images you have as to how high your sentencing range is. So it doesn't have to be maybe exactly, we charge you with 1,000 child sex abuse or unlawful photography or whatever. It can be a charge, and all of it can be under a canopy of how many images it was, and that's where your high end of sentencing. And then the thing about it is, with Tennessee's truth in sentencing law, this falls under any child charges like this. Falls within a 100% range of time. So whatever time he's given, he's facing up to 100% state. And of course, in the federal system, it's 100% anyway. And, just from what I understand, just on the federal side right now with the production of those videos that he made, and not just distributed, if he distributed, but just the production of it, he's looking at roughly about 30 years on the federal system, from what I understand, or, according to them.
And what about if on the state charges that he's facing? Do you know what he might be facing?
It's probably going to roughly be somewhere around the same.
Wow.
A lot of laws like that are very close in range with the federal system and here in Tennessee. So, so he's facing some very serious time, and he should be. Everybody has a right to due process. I understand that. But, sometimes there are those cases, and this is one of them, that the evidence is just so overwhelming. There's not a question. If you look at the Facebook comments, I mean, people are ready to hang him on the court square here in Tipton County, So when you start dealing with children, people take it very seriously, and they should.
It's interesting that you said people are reaching out. Like after he was arrested, people are now reaching out. If there's anything more you can tell us about that, or, and I don't know how it works, if your team, Homeland Security, they're going through these images, they're going through these videos, have they been contacting these other alleged victims and explaining what was found? I don't know how that works.
So a lot of these people, that the unsuspecting, we don't even know them. So it would take some type of a facial being able. So our lead detective here, some of the ladies that have called in and are concerned about whether they have become a victim or not, unknowingly become a victim. The detective has asked them, can you please send me a photo of yourself for facial recognition? And we'll have Homeland Security and TBI run that through their system and see if they can make a match with any of the photographs or videos.
Sheriff, I just want to wrap this up by talking about a human level here. You guys are the heroes. You guys, law enforcement, do incredible work. You see the worst of the worst. Seeing what is being described here, okay, having to look at these videos, look at these images, taking these allegations as true. Again, Sanders is innocent until proven guilty, but going through this material, how difficult is it for law enforcement to look at this and assess this?
Unbelievably difficult. When you start talking about children, and them becoming victims of crimes such as this, murder is murder, I get that, but you don't get much worse than this. When you can treat and have stuff like that, you're holding and possessing material like that, dealing with kids. But listen, the number of images, and not just our detective, but also Homeland Security and TBI, each case is a victim. And each case, these detectives have to go through. They have to prepare themselves for court. They have to understand what they're looking at. And just to see those images, I've worked those cases before prior as a detective, and there's nothing good about it. And it weighs on you. It weighs on you. It can affect you mentally. And we try to watch the mental health of our detectives, especially the ones that are dealing in, child porn or child sex abuse or something like that, because it does. It is a very tough case for those detectives to work.
Listen, Sheriff, thanks for coming on and explaining it. Thank you for the great work that you and your team have been doing. Again, you really explained how not easy it is, but this is a big development. Sheriff Shannon Beasley, thank you for taking the time to come here on Sidebar, explain the situation.
Thank you for having me. We appreciate you.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. You can also check us out on NBC's Peacock as well. If you want to follow me, X, Instagram, my News Nation show, Jesse Weber Live, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you next time, everybody.